All right, second edition of our podcast. Now, the first time that Jason and I did this podcast, we had no title because we just set all these cameras up ourselves and started shooting this thing. But Jason came up with the title while we were talking last time, and he said, we look like two bald tires sitting in here. Hence, his is a little slicker than mine, so I've got to go get mine shaved off today. But so we're going to call it for today anyway, the Two Bald Tires Podcast. So good to see you again, my man. Now, listen, when we met a couple of weeks ago talking about doing this, we were talking about first cars and so forth, and I was trying to remember what I learned to drive on. It wasn't my first car, but I learned to drive. The first one was a 65 Mustang. My dad had a 65 Mustang, automatic, had some 60s on the back, 70s on the front, air shocks jacked up about that high. But I really learned to drive with a sober driver, my stepdad, in a 67 pickup truck with a 3 on the tree. Mm-hmm. And went through several clutches. Before I learned how to drive it. But and the first car that I ever owned that my mother bought me, I was a sophomore in high school, was and see if you remember this car, 1977 Chevy Monza. Not Mazda, the Monza. Two-door, and it had Kragers on it, chrome Kragers, 70s all the way around, and man, burgundy, loved it with a passion. Man, everybody remembers their first car, and you wouldn't even tell us what yours was. Now, you own a dealership, your family's owned a dealership. I know you got a Trans Am sitting down there that if I could steal, I would, but what was your first car?
So you talked about bunch of different vehicles in your history. I don't remember what I learned to drive on. I don't remember what my dad brought. In my family, you had to learn to drive a manual transmission.
Yeah.
The passing test was we'd get on this hill right here at a dead stop, and he'd like, all right, get it going now. And if you could handle this hill right here, the driveway hill, then he passed.
And it's pretty steep out there.
It is.
By
It's
the
pretty
way,
steep.
too.
And then I went to go get my driver's license, and you can't get a driver's license on a dealer tag, or at least you couldn't my day. So we go to the DMV, and they're like, no, you can't do this. So I had to take the driver's test in my grandmother's Grand Am.
Pontiac
Grand Am.
Oh,
she had Grand Ams for forever. She loved Grand Ams. And I'd never been in a car before, and you have to, all right, put your turn signal on.
Yeah.
Oh, where's that at? And I mean, I passed first try somehow. But that was interesting. And then my first vehicle was a 1988 Isuzu Trooper.
Oh God, convertible?
No. This is a boxy SUV. I mean, think of it was tall. It was all angles.
Yeah.
There wasn't a curved edge on it. It had a 4-cylinder in it and a manual transmission.
Oh God.
And I remember one time my uncle called me. I told him I was on his summer league basketball team. He was like, hey, Jason, we really need you. I need you here in like 5 minutes. And I was in Timberlake and I had to get down to Hal Greer. The name escapes me. The place.
Somewhere down there.
Yeah, the youth center that they had a basketball league there.
Yeah.
And I had that thing absolutely. I mean, I was standing on the accelerator, and it never went above 85 miles an hour.
Oh, it never did.
No, it couldn't go. It just wouldn't. It was not aerodynamic. It was, but I love that thing. It was the.
How long did you keep it for?
I don't keep any vehicles very long, Cledus.
That's why
I don't know how many miles. I don't know how many miles that thing had on when they made me turn it in. It's hard to say.
You like trading?
Well,
have you always been that way through high school? I mean, this is dangerous. If you like to trade and you own a dealership, that's a problem.
Well, I don't own the vehicles. I never have owned the vehicles. So we would put about 5,000 miles on them and we'd sell them as demos. So about every 5,000 miles, I'd get a new vehicle.
What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite you've ever owned?
Probably my most favorite vehicle I've ever driven was we had a Cadillac Blackwing. CT5 Blackwing has the Corvette V8 in it.
God.
Manual transmission, 4-door sedan. And I took that thing to Snowshoe, and I mean, it was a lot of fun.
I don't even know what that is.
We have one in stock right this second. We just got one in.
Trying to sell me a car right here. I guarantee you. You know, talking about first cars, for somebody that's a teenager, or parents out there that's getting ready to buy their child a first car, you know, we weren't able to finance. You know, that Monza was only probably $3,500. Mom probably worked herself to death to make enough money to pay for that. But how do you recommend owning a dealership for a parent that's got a kid turning 16 or 17, getting their license? You know, do you feel like, you know, go big or go home? You know, drop the budget on the big one? Do you get the used one to get them used to it?
I have a lot of advice here.
Oh yeah,
nobody ever listens to me.
No, yeah,
but that's all right. First of all, I think you should always try to buy your kids something that they're excited about. They'll take better care of it. You know, and I'm not saying you buy them their dream car.
I got you.
But if you buy something that they really don't like, they're not going to take care of it, and it ends up, I think, being a kind of a negative.
I think you're exactly right.
So
well said.
You got to find something they're excited about. That being said, I would go newer and cheaper. Like a Nissan Versa. That would be a great first vehicle. Because the newer it is, the safer it is, right? They don't make them less safe every day. They make them more safe every day. And this is your child. So
absolutely.
You want to protect them. You know, not everybody can afford that. I would say if you can, you know, a new Versa is probably about the same price as a used Honda Accord, right?
I got you. Absolutely.
I would go, hey, now, once again, the kid has to be excited about it, but buying a new vehicle is actually pretty cool,
and
right? Even if it's kind of a geeky car, which I like the Nissan Versa. But so I would say go as new as you can possibly afford, and start out. I would try to start out small. You know, don't give them a real big car. Give them something small.
You know,
but get them something that they're at least a little bit. Get them involved in the decision making. You know, set yourself a budget. Let them pick out stuff that fits that budget, and you know, and I'd steer them to newer and smaller.
Definitely safer for sure. You know, it was strange when Caitlin got her first one when she turned 16. I was shocked because I thought she would have said some of the same stuff you did. You know, a Nissan, a Versa, something small, compact, easy to get around. She wanted a sedan. I don't even know where she learned the word sedan at, but she was into like something big, and you know, but we ended up getting her a little bit of a smaller one. But here again, we probably just learning the hard way went too old in the beginning. You know, we probably should. And we had some issues along the way, and ended up taking a $5,000 car and putting probably $10,000 in it. When if we'd have bought the $10,000 car, we wouldn't have had near as much money in it and had better luck with it at the same time. So.
Yeah, the bigger vehicles can be deemed safer. You know, and I know some kids that want to buy a car that's not very nice. They don't have to worry about taking care of it. Okay. But once again, I would steer newer. I mean, as you know, it's your child.
And one thing before we get out of here,
would be my number one priority.
One thing that I've tried to preach to my kids, some have listened better than others. I'm not going to say any names. Love y'all. Is the upkeep on one. You know, because I know they don't understand. They don't know nothing about an oil change in the beginning, or rotors or brakes or tires and all that. And you got to really, man, I think every parent, and I try to do this, I'm sure you have to as well, is to teach them those necessities of upkeep of a car, because otherwise it just deteriorates so fast, and guess who pays the bill?
Well, unfortunately, my kids are like me, and they never even get an oil change. So I have to teach them other life lessons. Maintaining a car is not one of them.
they never done it.
They're going to have to learn that on their own.
Oh my God!
But other things,
maybe I'm doing something right around here. Then I don't know.
Dishwashers. There's other. You can teach them other life lessons.
All they got to do, all his kids got to do.
That's not one of them.
They got to pull down that hill and come right down this road here, stop it, and go. I'll take that one, and it'll right back up the hill.
I think my mom has had the oil change in her car once she's 78 years old, and I think she's had one oil change in her life.
That's the funniest thing.
And she was like, she didn't know what to do. She showed up and goes, because I think it was during COVID, and we didn't have any cars, and we were like, you're going to ride down a little bit longer. And she's like, well, I got to get an oil change. Okay, Mom, well.
Oh,
let me introduce you to the service department.
Well, listen to Jason on most things, kids and parents. Don't listen to him on that. Teach them kids how to change that oil, rotate those tires, and the car will last a lot longer. And if you're looking for a first car, I promise you about 30 yards from here, you can find all you want out in that parking lot. See you next time, pal.
Thanks, Clinton.
All right, see you guys. that stupid car your dad sold me sucks.
That's imagine being 12 years old and hearing that at school.